The views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of ESPN Tucson 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, or the Arizona Lotus Corporation.
Welcome to Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson.
Justin Spears, I like that.
With Justin Spears and Ali Farhang on 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, ESPN Tucson. Brought to you by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, and Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
I want to be entertaining, but I'm not stupid enough to compare myself to Ali.
Oh, shoot. All right, that's how we're starting today's episode of Spears and Ali. Welcome. Happy Monday, guys. Yeah. Sorry for the technical difficulties to start. We're trying this this whole YouTube thing, so every now and again we got to work out a kink. But hey, happy Monday. Welcome to Spears and Ali right here on ESPN Tucson. We are live on 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4. We are also streaming on ESPNTucson.com and the ESPN Tucson mobile app. And we're also on the Spears and Ali podcast, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. We're going to be talking a lot of Arizona basketball because life is sweet for the Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, I mean, normally I would crush you for such an amateur hour mistake to start the show, but I'm just too happy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to start with any negativity because for the third of 4 years in which Tommy Lloyd has been the head basketball coach at Arizona, we're going back to the Sweet 16. Yep. And you know what? The way this team did it last night, just can't say enough good things about how resilient, tough. You know, you wanted to talk. We talked all year before the season started, during the season, during the tournament. Was the Big 12 and going through that schedule going to make this team not just physically tough, but mentally tough?
Yeah.
And it doesn't get more mentally tough than starting a round of 32 game against your former rival in the conference that you were in, down 19-4.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And coming back and just not letting that get you down, not letting the snowball get bigger as it rolls down the hill, fighting back and just not just winning the game, but being up 4 at halftime after being down 15 and then holding on by the seat of our pants at the end of the game, man. I mean, sometimes I think that I got the greatest motto for Arizona men's basketball.
What is that?
Arizona men's basketball. Hold on to your butts. Because, man, it feels like it's been a hold on to your butts year. And the whole experience of being a Cat fan is hold on to your butt. There are finger imprints on Tucsonans all over our great city with their handprint on both of their butt cheeks. Because we were holding on to our butts. I mean, oh, good God.
And when I was watching that final minute when Arizona
that final hour
or really the final hour, I was like, man, this game right here is going to dictate the mood of offices in Tucson, Arizona tomorrow.
Well, let me just take what you said. I'm going to go under review. We'll be back, folks, in 20 minutes. Make sure what you said was correct. Yeah, man. This town in a lot of ways kind of lives and dies with Arizona men's hoops,
especially in the tournament. Like you said, hold on to your butts. That's always amplified in the NCAA tournament. And last night was one hell of a game between Arizona and Oregon, with the Wildcats winning 87-83. We're going to be talking a lot of Arizona basketball all throughout the hour. We're also going to dive into some Arizona spring football because the Wildcats just wrapped up their first week of spring practices. If you want to talk about the Wildcats and last night's game, we'd love to hear from you guys because, hey, our phones are alive and working.
And I got to tell you, man, the new phone console, it looks it's clean. It's spectacular. I mean, I think we got something. We've graduated to something in the mid-90s.
Yeah. And I heard it's the PS2 of phones.
Yeah, I think, yeah. And I think, like I was telling you guys earlier, you guys, we keep doing a good job here and give our listeners what they want to hear. We may get a Blu-ray.
Yeah. A PS3?
Blu-ray.
Okay.
Blu-ray. You guys don't even know what that is?
Oh, I know what a Blu-ray is. Yeah. It was in PS3s.
Oh, okay. Well,
that was a big perk of the PlayStation 3.
It was.
Okay.
Blu-ray.
Well, if you want to talk about the Cats or the history of PlayStation, Sony PlayStation, call in 719-1490.
Genuinely, we'll talk either.
Yeah.
719-1490 is our studio line. Call in and hit us up. Let's talk about all things Arizona basketball in that game last night between Arizona and Oregon. All right, so let's get right. Before we go, do want to give a huge thanks to our great sponsors here on ESPN Tucson, Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, and Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. And also coming up at the top of the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have our good, bad, and ugly. I know you got yours all ready to go?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I do.
Though, kind of a little teaser here for my good. Arizona baseball, man, they are rolling right now. And I don't know if you saw this, but their game on Friday, they recorded 29 strikeouts in a 16-inning win.
Damn.
Which is a program record. It was an 85-year record that Arizona broke this past weekend. Big series win over West Virginia. Arizona baseball right now, they're rocking and rolling. So
doing it in every way
Cats.
because I think Sunday they hit like 5 home runs.
Yeah.
I might be wrong off by 1, but
Mason White, man, was the big hero.
Both Diamond Sports are cruising right now.
Yeah, softball too. They just picked up another series win as well. So
I mean, baseball, softball, really just what a great start to the season. I mean, I know it was rocky for baseball that first series out in Texas, but they're just playing good baseball. And
the fact that they're not ranked is insane.
I mean, the people that do the rankings, again, they're just morons. I mean, I'll give you a good example, and I've been saying this for a while. Okay, so I'm not gonna say I told you so, but I have been saying this.
Okay.
BYU completely underrated. BYU has been underranked and underrated for pretty much the entire season, but especially the second half of the Big 12 conference season. And now they're in the Sweet 16. BYU is a good team, and man, they're betting BYU in the tournament has been good for Ali. Because I'm like, you guys keep sleeping on BYU. They arguably, I think, one of the top 4 teams in the Big 12. I mean, it's Arizona, it's Houston, it was Texas Tech, it was Iowa State, BYU. BYU was right there, and BYU was beating Iowa State. So, I mean, it's good to see. I mean, I can't think of a time when we're in the Pac-12 that I rooted so hard for our conference brethren. I mean, I was right there rooting for every Big 12 team with passion. It's good to see the Big 12 be successful and have as many teams as it does in the Sweet 16.
How many teams?
What do we got? 4?
4?
Yeah.
Which I like those numbers considering it was how many going into the tournament?
8,
something like that.
Yeah.
So
SEC 7 of 14.
Yeah.
So
they got chopped in half.
Straight.
We were well. I mean,
and one of those teams is Arkansas, which I
here's the
didn't
thing.
really quite expect.
The SEC itself, like Florida, is really good. Connecticut gave them everything they had. By the way, that was a great game. Arkansas in the hey, how you doing game with him and Calipari, Patino Calipari. What you doing? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? That was the Patino Calipari game.
That was the Cutlet Classic.
Yeah, Calipari.
Cutlet
Arkansas with the victory over St. John's. Arkansas is good. I was surprised Ole Miss handled Iowa State the way they did, but they're good too. But Alabama, there are good teams in the SEC. It's just they're not this unicorn league where 14 of 18 teams should have gone in.
Hey, how you doing, Gabe?
It's like who's playing? Arkansas, St. John Patino, Arkansas Calipari. It's the hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing game.
The Cutlet Classic.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about last night's game. Let's get back to it. Arizona versus Oregon. Like Ollie mentioned, Arizona, they were down by 15 points to start this game, and they rallied back. And I think really the big storylines for this game, the reason why Arizona was able to win, one, Caleb Love, have yourself a day, man. Whew. Have yourself a day. This is a completely different version of Caleb Love than what we saw from last year. And I actually looked at the game last year against Oregon in the Pac-12 tournament semifinals. He went 2 for 11 in that game and was a complete non-factor. Yeah. A big reason why Arizona lost. That was in the middle of his slump when he had the yips last year. This year, it is a completely different player. And the thing that was so impressive, and we talked about it all year long, is now Caleb Love is so multidimensional. Like he can knock down the step back 3-pointer, right? The typical Caleb Love classic shot. But man, he was also getting into the lane. He was dunking. He was getting to the free throw line. He was hitting the floaters in the mid-range game. Like the way he was able to score, he pretty much like the only thing that was left for a hat trick was a half court shot, right?
Yeah.
Like everything else, Caleb Love was doing in that game.
And Carter Bryant was like, I got your half-court shot. It's just a little late.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Which, if you want to see a number of Persians stand up and go, oh, during a New Year's dinner, that's what happened at my parents' house last night. Oh, yeah.
But Caleb Love, man, 29 points, 4 assists, and 9 rebounds, 10 for 18 from the field, 5 for 7 from three-point range. Caleb Love had an awesome performance last night. And then, honestly, Toby Awaka was a man amongst boys.
Beast.
12 points, 14 rebounds. At one point, he nearly had as many rebounds as Oregon as a team.
Yeah.
He had 12, Oregon had 13.
And he didn't even play like the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. That was curious, but I want to go back to Caleb Love just for a second, because you talk about multidimensional offensively, which is true. Taking to the basket a bit more, going to the free throw line, mid-range shots, but his game is multidimensional. He's facilitating. I know he had 4 assists, but it could have been 7 or 8. A couple of times, the guy that he gave it to under the basket either missed the layup or got fouled. And then 9 rebounds for Caleb Love. So, Caleb's game is like evolved to just this complete game. And then I want to just kind of put the bow on it, Justin. Caleb loves defense.
Yeah.
So he's become a facilitator. He rebounds, playing really good defense. And he just this year, last year, I don't want to talk about last year. The Caleb Love right now is one of the premier players in college basketball. As for Toby Awaka, Toby Awaka was the man last night. And frankly, I think that he was as big a reason why Arizona was able to climb back as anybody, because he was being aggressive offensively. He was really playing solid D on Biddle. So Biddle likes to kind of push you down.
Oh, Theo Vaughn?
Whatever.
Theo Vaughn, man. Yeah. He looks like Theo Vaughn.
I don't know about that, but I do know that poor guy's, what is he, 23, 24? He's always already got the little balding spot. He might
a balding mullet.
Yeah, the balding mullet, but
choice look.
But you know what? He's pretty tough, and he's got that, kind of backs you down, goes to his left shoulder, got that little right hook that looks unorthodox, but it goes in. Couldn't back Awaka down. He could push Henry down, and
that wasn't a Henry Vasar game.
No, it was not. But I think that Toby Awaka, like I said, I mean, his rebounding, his aggressiveness offensively, his defense on Biddle, as much a reason. And he didn't start on Biddle for some reason. I mean, Tommy kind of had KJ on Biddle, had Del Orso on Biddle. I'm glad that Tommy and his coaching staff adjusted. That the scheme was not right in the beginning, and Awaka played him really tough. And then just the complementary players complemented. You had Jaden Bradley with I think 12 points. Del Orso with 12 points, and some good timely defense and quick hands from Carter Bryant. Good rebounding from Carter Bryant. I know he was 1 for 4 from the field. Arizona out rebounded Oregon by 12. Beat him points in the paint. I think 20-10.
Yeah.
Frankly, the only reason this game was close is the fouls, and we also got to be really cognizant and just be admitted. Oregon's shooting from the free throw line really helped us out last night.
Well, I was going to say, because the personal foul count, it was 19-18, so it was pretty even. But if you look at the free throw shooting, Oregon was 12 for 22.
Yeah.
So they shot 54% from the free throw line. Meanwhile, Arizona shot 70%.
Yeah, I think but the free throws and the fouls that we got were really at the end when Oregon had to foul us and get us to the line.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't even in the bonus until like the very last couple of minutes. Oregon was in the bonus with like 8 minutes to go.
Yeah.
But I don't want to make this like a bitch session about the refereeing. It was, whatever. Arizona just, especially that bald guy in the baseline that seemed to call everything against us. Yeah, who I'm talking to, Dave. But I think that, Arizona did everything. We only had 8 turnovers in the game. We out-rebounded them. We were aggressive. We were tough. And for a stretch of that game, the second part of the first half, the beginning of the second half, that's as good as Arizona's played all year.
100%. 100%. Well, I mean, it was the best version of Caleb Love that you got. And all the role players, like you mentioned, were all contributing. Like KJ Lewis, I thought played his ass off. And this is just kind of like just the latest part of his stretch, like in the postseason, because he played well in the Big 12 tournament. And now we're starting to see him come off the bench and have a pretty pivotal role for this Arizona team. So
yeah, we're just going to stop
because
making
he's healthy.
dumbass mistakes. And I don't want to talk about our next
3-on-1.
The 3-on-1, I missed the dunk. I hold onto the rim, and then I try to dunk it again, and you're hanging on the rim. That's a technical foul.
It is a technical foul, but it looked cool.
It was cool. It didn't feel cool at the time, Andrew. It's cool now.
I don't know. It was. I was upset at it, but I was like, "That's athleticism."
Yeah,
and I mean, especially like there's parts of that game, like the little bunnies, the little layups. We missed a bunch of those. I mean, it was closer than it had to be. We missed a lot of easy shots. We made a lot of maybe silly, unforced mistakes, even though we only turned the ball over 8 times. And but that all said,
that's the thing is like they won the game, and yet there's a whole nother level that they could tap into because, like we mentioned, Henry Vasar didn't have his best game. They had a couple of blunders, right? Some mental breakdowns, which against Duke coming up here in the Sweet 16, they're going to have to pretty much play an error-free game. But the fact that they won this game and we know that there's a whole nother level they could tap into, that bodes well for Arizona.
Yeah. I'm going to be on tomorrow and we can turn our attention to Duke, who I watched just eviscerate Baylor. Gosh, they're good. So we can do that tomorrow because I'm flying out Wednesday to just see my brother and my other brother and my son in the greater New York area.
Better not be in Newark.
We'll just leave it at that. Just going to New York as far as you know. And
just so our folks know, Ali is not traveling with Arizona basketball like he used to because he felt like he was the bad luck charm. So he's like, I'm not traveling anymore. And it's been working for Arizona.
No, we lost to Houston in the Big 12 title game. So, and I'm going to be with all my guys. Sorry, so,
and there it is.
And that has nothing to do with how they play. What I do has nothing to do with any of my favorite teams, how they perform. It has no relationship whatsoever. Anybody who thinks that is insane.
Says the guy who's like, okay, maybe if I turn my remote this way, maybe the Steelers will do better on third down.
Guys, last night it was like, okay, I put my hands here. Okay, my left hand over my right hand. Okay, underneath. Free throws. Gently caress my palm until the ball goes in the rim. All right, now they're going. Do I press hard? I wish I could tell you I'm making this up.
You are a fascinating human being.
It worked.
Man. He had an empty coffee table with a bunch of pretzels and stuff in the shape of a block A.
No. I had to drink a cup of tea. Do I keep the tea in my mouth as the free throw is going? And then I'll swallow if they make it. If they don't make it, then I keep it in my mouth for the second free throw. All kinds of interesting things going on. But like I said, it has no relationship to how the team plays.
There ain't no when he drinks green tea.
You're the origin story of a Batman supervillain.
The crazy cat.
Maybe you guys call me Batman, Bruce Wayne. Maybe I am just Batman was pretty crazy too.
You're the Batman who smiles or the Batman who laughs.
Yeah. Well, that's the persona.
That's the dark. That's the
it's
dark.
The guy
trilogy.
with the Russian ballet team, like this swimming in the restaurant's fountain.
Yeah.
But man, when I'm watching Arizona basketball or like Steelers football, I am Batman. There's no smiling.
Yeah.
No smiling.
But also want to give a huge kudos to Tommy Lloyd for the chess match that he was playing yesterday with Dana Altman with all the substitutions there at the end, getting Toby Walker to come in as a rebounder, then getting him out. And, Anthony Del Orso, we haven't really given this man a lot of love. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, we've given him a ton of guff, but we definitely haven't really praised Anthony Del Orso for his play this season. And I know a lot of Arizona fans they have certain feelings about ADO as to why he's playing more than Carter Bryant. And trust me, I've had those questions too. Like, I think Carter Bryant should be getting more minutes than Anthony Del Orso, but man, shout out to Anthony Del Orso for making those clutch free throws there with a minute left.
Yeah. I mean,
4 straight free throws, right? Like,
he made 2 big threes, man. In the second half, I think he was 2 for 4 from beyond the arc. And then he made a move like where he looked like he was going away from the basket and the defender kind of relaxed. And then he turned around, he went to the basket and then dunked it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a beautiful move. I mean, Anthony Del Orso is a very good offensive player, especially if you give him space. He's the best shooter on the team. His problem is defense. Every time he's in the game, a lot of times, coaches target Anthony Del Orso, and the guy that he's guarding they're isolating them, and he's going 1-on-1. That happened last night.
Oh,
with
they were
Bamba.
hunting him.
Bamba was, Del Orso was playing Bamba, and Bamba was like, okay, every time you're on me, I'm taking it to the basket. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. I mean, it's not like he's not trying. He just sometimes just doesn't have it physically. And like I said, we can talk about our next opponent tomorrow. But, offensively and for a couple of times defensively, Anthony Del Orso was really big for us.
Someone commented on a Twitter post I had yesterday and said it was very Sasha Vujacic-esque in the Game 7 of the NBA Finals, the way that he closed it out. Because, again, it's a role player. Don't really expect him to do much, and then he comes out and knocks down clutch free throws. Maybe kind of like Donnell Harris in the national championship game. He knocked down a couple clutch free
in
throws.
overtime, yeah.
Yeah. So
and I just
those guys are important, man.
When we come back from the break, I want to talk about theories as to why Toby Awaka did not come back in the game with 4 fouls under 6 minutes.
Ooh, you got your tinfoil hat on, huh?
Well, I actually have no idea. I'm just
I'm
making up. I'm guessing somebody's going to ask Tommy Lloyd that question. I'm very fascinated by his answer because Henry Vesar also had 4 fouls. So, for how well he was playing, and I know he was going offense defense the last minute and a half, but especially under the 4-minute break, let's talk about why we think maybe what Tommy may be thinking of why Toby Awaka, who was so effective against Biddle, was not back in the game.
All right, and we are also taking your phone calls if you want to talk all things Arizona basketball or NCAA tournament with us. Hit us up at 719-1490, 719-1490. We got more Spears and Ali right here on ESPN Radio. Spears and Ali right here on ESPN Tucson and the Spears and Ali podcast and our Spears and Ali YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe and comment today. We're talking about Arizona's big win over Oregon last night in the round of 32. And now the Cats are on to the Sweet 16, where they will have a rematch against Duke. They played them earlier in the season, in which Duke lost to the Wildcats at McHale Center.
Other way.
And it's
other way. I wish what you just said was true.
Yeah, so do I.
I really do. And maybe a little premonition. I like it. Let's just not touch it. Let it go. Duke prevailed over Arizona in Tucson.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
And,
you said that they lost Arizona.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
You did, buddy.
I do like your revisionist history.
I meant to say that Arizona lost to Duke at McHale Center.
10-point game?
What's that?
I think it was a 12-point game.
Something like that.
I mean, Duke was in control for most of the game, but Arizona was stuck with them. And I listened to another station here in town after the game last night as I was driving home. Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen, awesome dudes, did a great job.
The GOATs.
Listened to the press conference, but I thought Brian Jeffries really made a great point. And that is that from that game to today, Duke's always been, this whole season, they've been consistently the best, if one of the best, if not the best teams all year. They're not much different than they were when we played them in Tucson. And they were really good. They're still really good. So it's not a slight on the Blue Devils. Arizona is completely different.
100%.
Right? I mean, it's Arizona.
They're a Henry Vesar different.
How much Arizona has improved and how they've kind of found their identity is night and day from that game in McHale to today. I mean, let me just give you one example. Krivas started at center for the Cats in that game.
Yep.
KJ Lewis was in the starting lineup, right? Carter Bryant was playing 8 minutes. So it's just a different team. We'll see what happens, but I just, the way this team went to Seattle. And by the way, kudos to Arizona Wildcat fans, because you would think going to Seattle playing the Oregon Ducks, it was going to be overwhelmingly a Duck crowd.
No, man.
Not at all.
The U of A chants were heard.
They were heard. My buddy, my partner, Robert, who was there, is like, at best, it's 60-40 Oregon fans, but the Arizona fans showed up. And you were heard. You were loud. And, on to East Rutherford, New Jersey. Every time I think of East Rutherford, I think of Brent Musburger on the CBS pregame show every Sunday for football. And you go, you're looking live at East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the Philadelphia Eagles are visiting the New York Giants in a NFC East battle. Ron Jaworski versus Phil Simms.
Jaws,
baby.
R.I.P.
It's a very vivid memory for you.
I know. East
Just
Rutherford.
out of random.
They did Phyllis George, Irv Cross, Jimmy the Greek. I mean, that was one of the best.
Jimmy the Greek,
Jimmy
man.
the Greek, he would give like a
Sports
I can
betting
taste the
analyst.
tzatziki sauce now.
Sports betting wasn't legal. I mean, he was giving like, I take the Eagles +3.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, with who? Oh,
Vegas.
bookie. Yeah. But that pregame show was phenomenal. Brent Musburger was great.
So how do you feel just about Arizona right now after last night's game? So we mentioned how they still have another level that they can get into, but overall, just thoughts on last night's game.
Just like I said, man, I mean, this is, I know we talk a lot about iron sharpens iron, the Big 12 conference, how it's going to make us tougher. And physically, sure. But, physically, you're tough or you're not tough. It's hard to like make somebody tough unless you like put them through some sort of gladiator training.
I was going to say Mulan did it.
Yeah, Mulan did do it. Yes. Okay. There are exceptions, Andrew. But, the thing that this team, their toughness, number one on that list is mentally tough. And I think at the press conference afterwards, they were asking Tommy Lloyd and Anthony Delorso about what kind of leadership Caleb Love brings. And he's like, well, the example is we're down 19-4 and he's the one. So like, guys, we're good. We're good. We just need to execute our game plan.
Yeah.
And
We should have that clip too.
he keeps everybody calm. And, that calmness and that confidence, it resonates with the entire team. So this is a tough-minded, very just together team. And it showed last night they needed all of that in order to overcome that disastrous start.
Yeah.
We're all, I mean, the words holy sugar honey iced tea were the most commonly used 2 words. Holy sugar honey iced tea being 1 word.
Yeah.
Those were the 2 words that were echoed throughout the Old Pueblo last night at, let's see, the game started at 6:40. So I would say it's 6:48.
Ali, for the first time ever, was twisting his beard.
No, but I was
You were nervous.
I was nervous. And like I said, we need a shirt that says Arizona basketball and then a picture of Samuel L. Jackson on it. Hold on to your butts, because that's what it is.
I'll get Valdez on it.
So you said going into the break that you had a theory as to why Toby Awaka didn't play as much as he could have down the stretch. I'm curious. So I see the tinfoil on your head.
Here's the
Give it
thing.
to me.
The only thing I could think of is that I think Tommy thought the game might be going to overtime.
Yeah.
And he wanted to make sure that he had Toby Awaka available. He thought that Henry's length was good enough to maybe hold off Oregon for the last 4 minutes. And if not, and the game went to overtime, because Henry had 4 fouls too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, I think he was like,
Who'd you be more willing to sacrifice
well,
to pick up that 5th foul?
Or I don't want to lose both my big guys and then be in overtime. Because if Henry's fouled out and Owaka's fouled out, who comes in?
Carter Bryant playing the 5.
Carter
You
Bryant.
got Emmanuel Steffen coming in
No.
in a pinch.
No,
So you're gonna have to play small ball.
Carter Bryant.
Townsend.
Townsend might be your 5. So I don't know.
Man.
I can't really actually. It's a great question to ask Tommy. And let me be very clear. I'm not criticizing Tommy Lloyd. I just don't know. And there's a reason. So, and he knows more basketball than me for sure. Even though I was on a phone call, my brother will attest to this. Before the game, we were talking about game plans, and I said, you know what? I watched Biddle play the prior game. This is a Toby Awaka game. I think Awaka can be very effective against Biddle. And my brother's like, man, you were right. I'm like, yeah, man, because Biddle likes to push you down with his left shoulder, and he likes to go with that little right hook. You can't push down Toby Awaka. I didn't know Toby Awaka was going to be so effective on the offensive end, but man, his rebounding exceeded my expectations. And like you said, he was like almost out rebounded Oregon in the first half. I think it was a difference of 1 rebound.
Yeah.
But man, I really would like to know. I understand at the 10-minute mark, he's got 4 fouls. You sit him. But I really thought he would come back in, especially when Oregon was making a little bit of run and Biddle was kind of leading it. So I don't really know the answer unless he thought, you know what, Henry's got 3, and then Henry picked up his 4th. I'll just ride with Henry, and then I want to save Awaka for maybe just not even overtime. I want to save Awaka for those big defensive possessions under 2 minutes. That's really what I think it was, and he used them. So I was like, I don't want to lose a Waka,
Yeah.
At 3 minutes when we're going to need him maybe the last 2 minutes. And if that was the philosophy and theory behind it, I totally get it, because Waka did have a big rebound and did have a big defensive play under 2 minutes.
And he was subbed in and out there in the final seconds. It was just because Oregon was fouling, the game just kept stopping, and it was just swapping Toby Waka and Anthony D'Orso in and out. So
can I ask you guys that last minute 49? I don't know why I'm like fixated on that time, but I think it was a minute 49. We're up 6, right? That minute 49, did that last 5 hours?
it felt like it.
I think actually, genuinely, I think it lasted about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
The constant fouling, and then Oregon knocking down that 3 to bring them close.
Yeah. The anxiety. Yeah.
Dude,
I felt it, man. And I was like,
my hands were numb.
My butt cheeks are numb.
All right, let's take your phone calls here. 719-1490, 719-1490. We are talking Arizona basketball. What do you guys think about last night's win over Oregon? Hit us up, 719-1490. We got our guy, T-Money, joining the show this morning. What's up, T-Money?
Gentlemen, good morning.
morning.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Team of College basketball losing over the weekend in the Final Four. But I just want to shout out Coda Benson and the boys. Did Tucson proud. Last night, I texted to my little text group here, like, hey, if Del Orso plays more than 16 minutes, we lose. So the final line is Del Orso played 17 minutes and hit the game-winning free throw. So what do I know? But I just want to give a shout out to college basketball. They have single-handedly done away with the traveling call and moving screen. Like, you can travel with the ball, you can walk around instead of screen. It doesn't matter.
And
that's
baby.
destroying the game from the inside out.
Yeah, that Maryland last second shot, if you really look close.
Oh, man.
Dude.
The guy took 3 steps before he made that shot. It was a great shot, but technically, I feel bad for Colorado State, because technically, you travel.
No, yeah, you really don't even have to look close. It's happening all over the place. But hey, I just want to say the Cats, if they do knock off Duke, it's going to be it's going to be gritty. It's going to be an upset overtime, something like that. But yeah, it was a great win last night. That Biddle guy, man, Dana Altman always has some dude like that, some guy with a bald spot. Like, come on. I don't know.
It works, man. He's got the Mark Rambis of college basketball every single year. You guys are way too young for Mark Rambis, but anyway.
Mark Rambis or Kurt Rambis?
I'm sorry,
Kurt Rambis.
Kurt
Kurt
Rambis.
Rambis. Okay.
Kurt Rambis.
Oh, I'm too young, huh?
Yeah. And I was thinking about the backup center. Oh, Kurt Benson, who was the backup center for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kurt Benson. Yeah. All right, T-Money, buddy. Thank you. And
All right, guys.
we'll be holding onto our butts on Thursday.
Yeah, for real.
Yes, sir.
Fair enough.
Yeah, bear down. So what's I don't know what's more unlikely to happen. The refs calling a moving screen, or can Caleb Love get a damn continuation call one time?
Dude.
Come on.
Oh,
I mean, how is
God.
that not and one? Like every time.
Yeah.
It's like he's
Him and KJ, they both are peeling themselves off the hoop at the bottom after every layup.
but he'll make it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, that was on the floor. Like one time. Just one time.
It's like you blow the whistle as he's
yeah.
got his arm up.
Yeah.
That's
He's literally in the air.
yeah. I don't get it. All right, let's take more of your phone calls. What do you think about Arizona's win over Oregon? How do you feel about the Cats in the NCAA tournament? Call in at 719-1490, 719-1490. More Spears and Ali on the other side.
The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, man. The thrill of victory feels so good. It's so much better than the agony of defeat. I
What
mean,
did
it's
Ernie
just-
say before the game yesterday? There's 2 things in basketball: victory and misery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sports. It did in sports.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's in this tournament, though.
I got to have a dinner and a drink with my really good buddy and Hall of Fame, all-time one of the best high school coaches in Tucson, Dennis Benet, last week. And I'm thinking about like the Open when we lost to Chandler and a couple state championships, Scottsdale Saguaro. I still have not, and I will never watch that film ever. And I think
I think you should confront it.
I dream about the like the senior midget 13-year-old team I coached in a championship game and how I could have called a better game. It's insane. That's what coaches do. And if you think I'm kidding, I'm not. Like, I think,
why didn't I run the annexation of Puerto Rico?
Statue of Liberty.
They were so much bigger.
there.
They had a bunch of kids that were in high school. I had a bunch of 13 and 12-year-olds. And for some reason, high school players, if you get in, they were like at Pueblo and they were playing for this whatever senior midget team. And they were good. They're good players. And I'm like, man, I went in. We're going to run a lot of swinging gate. We practiced it all year. And it like kind of worked a couple of times. And so we had like a long run for a touchdown. And then Xavier was at quarterback and he threw this long pass complete, took it to like the 2-yard line. And my receiver, man, he was off the line of scrimmage. We didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage. And then I just called some dumbass plays. I don't want to talk about this anymore, guys. I don't know why you brought it up.
And by the way, senior midget is a division in Pop Warner football.
Yeah.
For those wondering.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take some phone calls here. Let's take
this game happened 11 years ago.
Yeah. All right. We got Billy on line 1. Billy, good morning to you. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning to you as well. A couple questions. One, do you think that it would be? I think it'd be a big game changer. Do you see Lloyd switching Carter Bryant from the bench into the starting role? That guy is just a huge impact. I think it'd be a nice thing for a huge game against Duke. Second of all, would you say that this is a postseason redemption tour? You know, we got our lick at Kansas, beat them.
Yep.
Now we get a lick at Duke, and if we get past Duke, I don't want to jump ahead, but I'm sure Houston would be waiting around there somewhere.
Damn straight.
So,
yeah, speaking of redemption tour, Billy, I mean, remember Oregon beat us in the Pac-12 championship game last year in the Pac-12 tournament.
Yeah, I knew that, but I'm trying to just like, I can't believe how just the Pac-12 didn't do us that well. Like, we are so much more prepared for postseason play right now. It's crazy the difference I see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been conference of champions in the latter years of that conference. It's they should have called it.
You know, but anyways, I'll get off the air. I just wanted to hear you guys chat about it so you can answer my questions.
They should have called it the Charmin League. Softest toilet paper, Pac-12.
The Pac-12?
Yeah. Pac-12, yeah. Not the Big 12.
Yeah.
Big 12 is a man's league.
No, the Big 12 is literally a Sweet 16 game every week we're playing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Billy. Appreciate the call.
Yep. So I don't know if you can maybe answer those. That'd be cool. And
totally.
Enjoy listening to y'all. And I'll get off the air. Let somebody else get on. Thank you.
Thank
Billy,
you.
you're the best, man.
Billy.
I'm going to answer the 2 questions. Then we'll let you take it. First of all, Billy, congratulations on having an indoor pool. That sounds cool. A little bit of an echo in there. Second,
damn.
Second, I don't think you change it up now. I don't think Carter Bryant starts, but I do think you maybe see him play more minutes. You'll notice that Trey Townsend only played 10 minutes last game. So Tommy's really good of knowing who's kind of got the game. And with respect to Redemption Tour, all I can tell you is this. I hope so, buddy. I hope so.
I think this is a bullpen game where even though the guys are not starting, expect a lot of big minutes out of guys like Carter Bryant for his versatility, his defensive efforts, and also KJ Lewis. KJ Lewis is one of their best defenders on the perimeter too. And Duke and their guards, this is going to be a huge game for KJ.
And KJ's getting healthy, man. And we said it, man. And Tommy said it. He's not a 17% 3-point shooter. And him in his health, he's actually, I mean, I would like to look at the stats, but I think he's shooting almost 35-40% in the last 3 games. So I like a healthy KJ Lewis is good for Arizona. He's adding, he's filling the stat sheet. He's adding, 12 to 15 points. I think he had 19 against Akron. He's got the rebounds. He's got the steals. He's playing tough defense. Good to have healthy KJ back.
Henry, KJ, Carter, those 3 off the bench, man. So critical against Duke. All right, let's take one more phone call before our commercial break here. It's not Billy. It's Bill. What's up, Bill? How's it going, man?
Good, guys. Hey, I want to lay out a conspiracy theory that was confirmed yesterday.
Oh, I love it.
So I remember back in the day, I'm an old man, but I remember back in the day, you used to see every replay after, immediately, even if it was, you'd have announcers actually say that there was bad calls. You never see that. You never see hardly ever 1 out of 10 maybe controversial calls played back right off the bat. And of course, I'm talking about the traveling now, the obvious traveling, and the conspiracy is confirmed because you go to the studio show and they're saying, oh, well, you can call it, if you replay it 50 times, yeah, you can see it, or slow motion, yeah, you can see it, or hey, it's in the NBA you have that gather step, but they never say it was traveling. It was traveling, but well, you can call it traveling if you play it back a bunch, or NBA's got a gather step, and my conspiracy theory is CBS and the announcers are told by the NCAA, hey, don't criticize our refs, because I think the reffing in the tournament has been pretty bad. I've watched most of the games, and wow, it's just not as good as it used to be, or at least used to be able to say something about it. The announcers would.
I can buy that conspiracy theory.
I agree with Bill.
I mean, if there's any organization that wants to control the narrative, it's the NCAA. And I don't know if this is a good comparison, but like, you're not allowed to bring any like water bottles or any like snacks into the arena. It all has to be NCAA branded. So if you want to get a cup of water, you got to go outside of the arena, get an NCAA cup, and then bring it inside. So NCAA loves controlling the narrative.
Really?
So,
and the worst of it was that ex-official coming in and talking and saying, well, it counts once you get two hands on the ball after you dribble. That's when it is. You can bobble the ball all the way to the basket, he says. I was going, oh, you can?
Yeah.
Wow, you can just bobble the ball all the way down the court, all the way to the basket, which, it just watch it. If you just watch the game and you see a bad call and they don't make any comments or anything, they used to do that. They used to comment on those things.
Absolutely.
I was really disappointed with Seth Davis. I thought for sure somebody would finally be a contrary opinion and say it was traveling.
Yeah.
But nobody did.
I could buy
that. They criticize people at home for you can watch it from the home and call it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey, Bill, hate to cut you off. We got to go to commercial break, but I agree. Okay. I agree with your conspiracy theory. I'm all in.
Hey, Ali, I'll be calling you professionally later.
All right, buddy. I'll be taking that call.
Thanks,
I got you.
Bye.
All right. Up next, we're taking more of your phone calls. 719-1490, 719-1490. More Spears and Ali coming up next. Spears and Ali here on ESPN Tucson, 1490 AM, and the Spears and Ali podcast. We want to help pay your bills. It's our Pay Your Bills contest happening this week. You can listen between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. And once you hear the keyword during one of our commercial breaks, take that keyword and then text it to 520-719-1490. 520-719-1490. I believe we got another keyword coming up in hour number 2, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, listen for that keyword. Text it to 520-719-1490 for a chance to win more than $2,000. We need to get our winner from last week on.
Oh,
David.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys for listening and
Good
happy
job,
to help out all of our listeners. And yeah, we need to give our guy David some airtime here. So anyways, before we get to hour number 2 and get to the good, the bad, and the ugly, yesterday we saw Texas basketball fire Rodney Terry and then immediately hire Sean Miller, the head coach at Xavier, former Arizona Wildcats head coach who eliminated Texas from the NCAA tournament, which I found very interesting. So Sean Miller, now the head coach at Texas, he leaves Xavier once again. He returned to Xavier for his second stint, but that SEC money is a little long, and the resources there at a program like Texas, I'm actually excited to see what Sean Miller can do at a program like Texas.
Sean Miller is going to be great at Texas. And, My brother Amir and I were talking. It's like, man, does he like Sean Miller at Texas? Now is it like, does he start thinking about Koa Pete and Burris, the two young guys, studs that Arizona they have them. Those guys have Arizona high on their list. Sean's going to be great at Texas, and I'm really happy for him. I know leaving Xavier for a second time was really tough on him, but man, Texas's athletic director is the boss.
His name sounds like a boss.
He was at Arizona. He was an associate athletic director at Arizona. Chris Del Conte. He's a great guy. Now he's got the resources to be the boss, but this guy, he did it with Laura Ianello at U of A with the women's golf team where she went to Texas. There's no search committees. There's no groupthink. There's no let's figure out how we're going to do this. Let's talk about it for 20 days. He's like, this is my person. I'm going to get him, and I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. And he gets his man or woman every time. So Chris Del Conte, you're a boss. And someday when you ask me for a favor, I will give you that favor out of respect for the Godfather.